Let's move on now to the NL West. And I will guarantee right now, my Swami, my prognostication will say that the Dodgers are going to win the division easily.
Really going out on a stretch here with the Dodgers. Dodgers are going to win it. I think the Dodgers over under. I think it's sitting at like 105 or something like that. I don't think the Dodgers are going to win 105. I think they're going to be a little below that. I do think they have question marks in their rotation, or question marks. I think they have. It's not as perfectly polished as we all think it is. I do think there's going to be issues there. Yamamoto, again, year two, he wasn't fully healthy last year. Let's see where he goes with that. Gonsolin, we don't know, exactly what we're going to get at him. He's looked great so far in spring when he has thrown. Sasaki, I don't think he's going to be healthy. I just don't feel it. Blake Snell can't go past 5 innings. Like, he knows he's allergic to the 6th inning. Glass now can't stay healthy for a year. Dustin May can't stay healthy for a year. You're looking at Clayton Kershaw. Like, they've got so many guys that have had injury issues. Again, it's a great problem to have because they've got so many guys, but there's so many things there. If they're healthy, dude, they're going to blow everybody away. I just don't think they're going to stay healthy. I think it's going to be a mismatch of guys. And then from a lineup standpoint, they're going to be great. Again, they're not going to sit there and just blow you out every single game, 12-0, but their top 4 are as good as anybody. Teoscar is not going to have the same year he's going to have this year. We know Ohtani's not going to have the same year that he had last year. So I do think they're going to take a step back. They're going to win the division, but I guarantee you it's going to be a little bit closer than people think. The Diamondbacks and Padres are just going to be tough teams every single time they play. They're going to be tough, and a lot tougher than people think.
Yep. We didn't even talk about this in the beginning of the show when we were talking about the series. Roki Sasaki, that dude needs to learn how to hit the strike zone.
Dude, he's in Japan, first year here. He's a young player. He's excited. He's overthrowing. But I'll say this: if it's not for a line drive directly at your shortstop, that game is tied or they're losing, and he's leaving the game. And he threw what, 3 innings, something like that. Like, young, excited. You're overthrowing everything. He's going to be just fine. I just don't know if he's going to be healthy.
Well, that's what everybody was saying, that was his big problem coming into Major League Baseball, that he's got the stuff, but he does have a little bit of an issue finding that strike zone at times. And a lot of people said that he would end up turning up into becoming a reliever as a result of that. We'll see how it plays out. I have the Padres as number 2 in the division. I saw something last year in the playoffs that I think a lot of people are sleeping on. I think Fernando Tatis is going to have one hell of a year. I think he's going to put it all together this year. Coming off the injury last year, all the steroid stuff, he's finally going in there with a clear head. I think he could be a significant upgrade this year. The Diamondbacks, you said it, good team. And like we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, if Jordan Montgomery can step up, they could be scary. They really could. Giants and Rockies will, round out the division. Sure. I don't think there's...
I forgot to even mention them. My bad.
All right, let's go to the NL Central.
NL Central, the beast of the NL Central. It's the Cubs and kind of everybody else. The Brewers are going to be a good team, but not great. They did not get better. Cardinals are definitely not getting better. The Reds, the best thing they did was bring in Terry Francona. Again, that's a long-term play. This isn't a playoff team yet. Pirates did nothing to help themselves out besides keep the rotation together. But they still have him sign those guys. Like, give them long-term deals. Give every one of those guys long-term deals. That they've got the best young rotation in baseball. It's the Cubs. The Cubs just got a lot better, and that's the way I look at this. Is the Brewers? I mean, you lost the best reliever in baseball, and or arguably the best reliever in baseball, and Willie Adames. Like, you're not getting better. That's the thing, is like they're finding good players to fill, but good players don't win divisions. Great players do.
Yeah, they're bringing in replacement players. This is what they're doing. Yeah. They don't have anybody there. I agree with you. It is the Cubs division, but I am really high.
That was a lot of talk really quick.
I really like the Reds. I love bringing in Terry Francona. I think they have some stuff over there. I think Ellie De La Cruz is an absolute stud who's only going to get better under Francona. I asked you a couple of weeks ago, is he the guy that's going to make this team better? And you said yes, and I believe you, and I love Tito. So I think they're going to be in second place. You got them in fourth. I'm putting them all the way up there. The Cardinals, just because I don't think they're going to keep Nolan Arenado, I think they're going to end up selling a lot of pieces throughout the season. I think they're going to be problematic. But the Brewers, like you said, they just worse. Bottom line, just worse. There's nothing you can do. And the Pirates, now you got Jared Jones, who's got problems going into the season. And we had said that he needs to come through if they're going to have any chance to do something this year. So I'm a little scared about that whole situation. They desperately needed a first baseman. They should have picked up Christian Walker. Made major, major mistakes this offseason, in my opinion.
Agree with you.
And finally, we're going to go to my favorite division in baseball, the NL East. And it's actually really funny how we have this set up, because if you look on the screen right now, David Ardsma has the Mets winning the division, and I have the Phillies winning the division.
Oh, all right. You make your argument.
It's very simple. The Phillies, I think, are the best overall team in that division. They have the starting pitching. They have the guy who should win a Cy Young at some point in Zach Wheeler. They have Aaron Nola. They have a lineup that is as good as anybody when they're all clicking. The Mets, they don't have that rotation yet. That's the only thing. It'll take them a little time. Sean Manaea is hurt to start the season. Kodai Senga is coming back from a major injury. It's going to take them a little time to gel. Granted, they got Juan Soto, and I have them as a playoff team, and I think they will go farther in the playoffs than the Phillies, but I think it's the Phillies division. You tell me why I'm wrong.
Obviously, Aaron Nola, Zach Wheeler are incredible. They're studs. It's the Phillies that are going to be based on Christopher Sanchez and Ranger Suarez. Where those guys go, the Phillies go. My only thing with that lineup is, when are we going to see them really break out? When are we going to see Trey Turner play like the Trey Turner they signed? Is Bryce Harper getting younger? No. Is he going to get better? Great. No, probably not at this point at 33, at 32 and a half. Bohm is a solid player, not a great player. Schwarzer, again, he's 32. Schwarber 32. Nick Castellanos is 33. Kepler is in the rotation, in the lineup at 34 or 33. Real Muto is 34. That's my problem with this team, is that they're just, when are we going to see them take that next level and just be a lineup that we're just like, God dang, I don't want to face any of these guys. They were close a couple years ago. They were close to that. But they also didn't have Harper most of the year. And then Harper came back, and then now Harper gave them that in the playoffs, that push. But then with some of those other guys kind of step back, and we just haven't seen them be that complete team yet. Right now with the Mets, great argument here. And again, it could be Phillies or Mets either way. I don't think it really matters. And to be honest, I think it would help to not win the division, because you're going to be the second team in baseball. So you're going to have the off on the playoffs. So I actually think it's going to help whoever ends up being second place more than it helps being first. I think that lineup is a little bit younger, a little bit more exciting, a little bit more energy, where the Phillies, it's like they're trying to find it, where the Mets they got a train kind of flowing. They got young replacement players that have come in and done a great job and filling in those gaps. They have a little bit of that young energy. The rotation, great argument. There's no doubt the top two, you can't even touch the Phillies. That's arguably the best two in baseball. I don't care whether you're talking Dodgers, arguably the Phillies are the best two. But when Clay Holmes and Senga, they're not bad. They're pretty dang good.
No, they're not bad.
David Peterson, Tyler McGill, and I think right now they're going with Canning. Griffin Canning's kind of lined up in their fifth. The bottom two, they're definitely behind the Phillies, but I think that lineup and the bullpen push them over the edge as far as they're going to have a little bit more energy. Phillies have to find something. The Mets just have to be consistent.
But you brought up Clay Holmes. We don't know what he's going to be. It's like everybody's saying it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to be just fine. We don't know. So now you have that question mark. You have the question mark with Kodai Senga, who I love. I think he's an incredible pitcher, but I don't know what to expect this year. And he hasn't been, rocking it here in spring training. It's just going to take a little time for this Mets team to gel. I believe they will, but it's going to take some time. And then the Braves, the only reason why I won't say the
We
Braves are
haven't
going to win
talked
the
about the Braves.
division
Damn it.
is what's that?
We haven't even talked about the Braves.
No, we haven't even discussed them. But the Braves, you're not going to get Acuna back to start the season. You lost Fried. Schwellenbach has to be the guy who's going to fill in those shoes, and we don't know what he's going to do in his second year. So I don't know. I'm not too high on.
Sale's going to take a step back.
Yeah,
Spencer Strider, by the way, looks like he's all world again. So he's going to be in that rotation. When it's going to take a little bit, maybe. Well, Ronaldo Lopez is obviously an absolute stud, but when you get to the back end of that rotation, it gets really thin. Chris Sale, I think, is destined to get hurt. I'm just going to say it. Destined to get hurt. The incredible year last year. Do not plan on that happening again. They have the best bullpen in that division. It's just what are we going to get out of the offense? Are we going to see last year, or are we going to see the team from 3-4 years ago with Matt Olson just going crazy? Riley, the pickup come on, like Riley, let's go, like be that guy again. Like we saw it. Like I say pickup, like he was good last year. Like we need to see the great couple years ago. Marcelo Ozuna, you have to continue what you're doing again. I was at Albies, like Arcia, like where Jared Kelenic. If Jared Kelenic's still in your starting 9, like you're missing a player, right? You're just missing a little bit of something at this point. And then Acuna, when Acuna is, dude, like it's just Acuna and Sean Murphy. Like, what are we getting out of these guys? Like, Sean Murphy was the biggest like move that they made a couple years ago. Hasn't really paid off. It hasn't been the guy that they got.
And I'm not that high on Michael Harris. I don't think he's, a great player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's great. Ozzie Albies, I don't think is in that great territory either. I think he's a pretty good player. I may be wrong, but I can't see them doing it this year. But if they would have to have everything firing on all cylinders in order for them to take the division. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. Nationals are definitely at least a year away. They've got all the pieces. They've got a lot of young guys, but it's not going to be this year. And the Marlins are a dumpster fire, and they're going to be even worse at the second half because they're going to trade Sandy Alcantara.
Yep, to the Yankees, and the Yankees win the division.
That's very possible. If that happens, then I might put them over the Red Sox. But we also don't know what Sandy Alcantara is going to be. He's coming back from Tommy John. He could be mediocre. He could be terrible. He could be great, but you can't rely on him.
No, you can't. I wouldn't. Again, he's a long-term play.
All right. So who do we have in the NL wildcard race?
My NL wild card ends up being the Phillies, the Braves, and the Diamondbacks. And again, these are even like if the Padres and Diamondbacks or Padres, Diamondbacks, and then Braves don't get in, like it doesn't matter. This is going to be an incredible playoffs.
Yeah. I have the Mets winning the first wild card, then I have the Braves, and then I have the Padres. And Braves and Padres could be interchangeable. I'm not sure. But I'm high on the Padres this year. Don't know why.
They're a good team. That's why. Again, they're a great team. I just have them just being out. I think the Diamondbacks have a little bit more than they have. I don't like Christian Walker leaving, but again, Christian Walker hadn't really provided a whole lot in the last couple of years that they're not going to get out of. Was it Naylor that came in?
Mm-hmm.